What's up, guys? I'm Ryan. I'm going to show you the workflow I made to demonstrate some of the nodes in my node pack. It will show you how to make something like this. Bang! Bang! So, I've introduced a lot of functionality in this node pack. I encourage you to go check it out. Check out the GitHub page. Give me a star. Give me a star. Come on. And you can look over some of the things that I've added. For this, we're mainly going to, I kind of incorporated a lot of different aspects. Particle systems, depth map manipulation, and depth segmentation driven by proximity. So, sounds like a whole lot. Let's get into it. I'll go piece by piece, and I'll try to get the right level of detail. But if you have any questions, just hit me up on Discord or in the comments or whatever. So load the video, shrink it down so we don't explode the computer. And then this bit here gets sort of crisscrossed, so I'll go next to the particle system. I'll do another video, or I have already done a video, I don't know if I've released it or not, that explains particle systems in a little bit more detail. But just know that every node has this question. Every node from my node pack has this question mark. And when you click it, you will get some help and some documentation. So what we're doing here is using two particle emitters into the particle system. All right? And one particle emitter emits blue particles and the other emits red particles. And then we mask those two particles separately. Is we're going to use this for the proximity. We track how close the two particles are to one another and use that to drive the depth effect that you saw in that output video. So we get these masks, we get the actual image, and we can use it to manipulate the depth map. So we grab the depth map from the regular input video and then feed it the mask of the two particles. And this node here will add them to the depth map and give them depth. I don't know if it's totally necessary, but I think that it does give it a cool sort of extra orbiness, if you will. It makes them a little more orbly. I also added them to the line art, which we extracted for the control net later on. So now that we have all that stuff, we have the pre-processing done. We have the depth maps, the modified depth maps, the particle masks for our anchor and query for the proximity feature. So there's not much difference between the anchor and the query in this scenario, but the idea is that you might have an anchor like a single point or an object that's not moving, and then something else that you want to track how close it is. Doesn't really matter. But we give it these locations, and we're taking the location of the boundary of the particle. You could also do the center. There are some other ways to get locations as well. I think right now there's only location from point. But if you have any ideas on how you'd like to retrieve locations, leave them in the comments. So as you can see, the particles just bounce off of each other. So this is what the feature looks like. This is the proximity feature. As they start out real far apart, bounce off, go back. Simple as that. So we use that proximity feature in this depth chamber, is what I call this. It's depth specific segmentation. So you can do a bunch with it, but principally there's two values, the front and Z back, and you can the front and the back. You can either squeeze them, expand them. If you put the front in the back and the back in the front, you can squeeze them this way. All sorts of things that you can do. So in this, I'm just moving it from the back to the front because it looks pretty cool. And what I noticed the first time I did this was that the sharp line, it gave me like a really sharp line when it was coming forward, and it didn't really look as cool or as believable. So I added this mask warp with Perlin noise, so it's a little less harsh of a line, you see. All right. Also, I made a couple of example outputs for this project. In the first one, I decided to remove the sky. So the sky would stay the same. It's like a cityscape. I'll show it to you, I think, in this video. But I removed the sky. I just ran this one with the sky removed also, and it actually finished while I was talking to you. I ran it with the sky in there, so we're gonna find out together what that looks like and see if I like it better with or without the sky. But that's what this crap was here, was to delete this, subtract the sky, and then add the particles to the mask, because later you'll see that only the masked area is sampled. So we wanted to include the particles. All right. This is just some basic stuff here. You know, we got a lava, LoRa, yada yada yada. The control nets, blah blah blah. Animate diff, yada yada yada. No IP adapter, but you could enable this if you want. Let's see. So we got the first sampler. And like I was saying, we've got this latent noise mask. So only the masked areas are sampled. Simple as that. Upscale it, upscale the latent to sample it again. Still, we're only doing the masked area. Blah, blah, blah. And then, since upscaling the latent here, it it does pretty well, but it distorts the original. So if we basically have the masked portion being combined with the original portion like this. And when you upscale the latent, it just makes it all pixelated. So to resolve that, we just get the original image and paste it over the spots that we didn't sample, just to make sure it's clean looking. All right, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's not all that different from. I guess that's cool with the sky. Yeah, let's leave the sky in. What do you say? We've also got this proximity visualizer. I just so you can sort of see what's going on. One thing I didn't mention, so we've got proximity, we've got anchor, and we've got query, the points. So obviously we manufactured these two orbs and put them in there, and so they don't have depth relative to the composition, but these points, these locations that we talked about earlier, do have X, Y, and Z. So if we wanted to make it, we could make a static orb right here and then mask this bus or trolley or whatever. And as the trolley approaches from the depth, we could then, I don't know, there's a ton of stuff you can do. All right, so hopefully that covers everything. If you have any questions, let me know. Any feedback, I'd love to hear it. Any feature requests, all that, be sweet. So check out my GitHub page for the project. Give me a star. If you want some other workflows, check out my Civic profile. I'll put all these in the description. All right, thanks.